What is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day today. I kind of want to go over the quarterback situation, and I saw people making videos on the rankings. I saw the rankings a couple days ago, and Jalen Hurts is just at the bottom of the barrel for almost everything when it comes to there's worse quarterbacks out there that are getting ranked higher than him, and Jalen Hurts is getting doubted, which I knew it was going to happen because the offseason is a big hype. It's a big hype for the Eagles this year, okay? I say that the Eagles have the roster to get things done, to get to 12, 13 wins, but that's in a perfect world in my tiny little brain that I have, okay? Let's get that one clear. They're talking about Daniel Jones, a few quarterbacks that are not really that good and being, more talented and higher ranked than Jalen Hurts. If we say, hey, Jalen Hurts is better than Daniel Jones, I don't want Jalen Hurts to be better than Daniel Jones. I want him to exceed way further down the line than Daniel Jones. To just say he's better is not saying that much, okay? It's not saying that much. And he has got to take that big step this year. It's really all we're getting. And when you look at and I understand, I'm going to get criticized for it. And every time I talk about the quarterback situation, I'm all in on supporting Jalen Hurts this year. I'm going to support him 300%. I'm going to criticize him. I'm going to criticize him now because he's already had a year and a half under his belt, even though I'm respecting that he's only had a year and a half. Unfortunately, he's in a crappy situation. The Eagles need a quarterback to really prove himself before we give the quarterback big money with a good roster around him. And I think Jalen Hurts, I think Howie's done a good job building around that, especially having connections with some of these players like A.J. Brown, best friends, been working out the past few off seasons, try to recruit him to Alabama. They've been best friends ever since. Devontae Smith played with him at Alabama. Brian Johnson has known him for years. I mean, I think they drafted Grant Calcaterra in the 6th round from SMU that he used to play with, him at Oklahoma together. So I feel like there's a lot of good connections, and I feel like, I think Howie Roseman has done a good job when it comes to it, but on paper looks good, but it's got to come together, guys. It's got to come together. All we're knowing right now, like I watch all these videos on Jalen Hurts. It puts a smile on my face. I see him training. I see him working with the guys, but it's just, that's it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the next step is. None of us know what the next step is going to be and what's going to happen with Jalen Hurts going into next year. I'm just a realist here. I don't follow the trend. I don't say, he's going to be the best quarterback. I'm not, no, because I'm smarter than that. Number one. Number two, it's just a year and a half of football, a couple games in 4 to 5 games in 2020. Early 2021, he was almost still a rookie at that point because he didn't play a full season yet. So kind of started criticizing him at the end of the year when, he brought us guys to the playoffs. And I understand that, I understand all of that, but, it's a year and a half of football. So I totally get it. But all we're getting is the hype. I mean, that's it. Just think about it. It's like we're getting the sizzle of the steak. Like we're getting the sizzle. Okay, that's it. That's all we're getting right now. We can smell it. It smells great. Smells great. Smells good. We're ready to eat. Got to prove it on the field, and that's just the way it goes, man. It's just the way it goes. It's like I want this kid to work out, and I want this kid to be so much better. And look, I think we've kind of proved that an average quarterback, like a guy that Nick Foles comes in, wins a Super Bowl, and I understand he didn't play a whole season with the Eagles, never has, but it worked out, and you can get it done. I think Jalen Hurts. I think the coaches have to expand this playbook, and Jalen Hurts, they can't put it all on Jalen Hurts when it comes to let this offense work around you. Okay, let this offense work for you. Okay. Not saying that they don't run the football with Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that they're not going to use that running skill set that Jalen Hurts has. I think that's a huge plus. But if this passing game gets right and hit the anticipation on throws and not overthrowing and underthrowing and just being a little bit more accurate, you can have a double-digit win team this year, winning the East, going to the playoffs. And as far as I have them going, is winning a playoff game this year. And if that fails, then the Eagles got to really think hard at the end of this year to say, you know what? It sucks, because the Eagles have 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick next year. Next year's QB draft class, much different from this year because you actually have some talent that you're going to have to move up. It's not going to be easy to move up like it was this year because most teams were moving back out of the top 10 than really staying because, the quarterback situations, really weren't that well. And then obviously you saw how some of these guys got drafted or undrafted, some of these guys, So it's going to come down to how good does Jalen Hurts have to play to get a contract? It's extension time at the end of this year. I don't have the answer. I don't know how he's going to play. Yeah, he worked with Tom House and Quincy Avery. Great. That's all great things. All these things are good things. But if it doesn't show on the field, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, once training camp comes, once these scrimmages start coming, when we practice with Miami during, the training camp scrimmages, I can only take so much out of it when it comes to the quarterback because they're not rushing him. They're not going to tackle the quarterback. They're going to pressure him, but he's going to end up throwing the ball every single time in these little scrimmages we're going to have. So we have to keep an open mind with that. Obviously, with other positions, you could say, yeah, one-on-ones, whatever you want to say with certain positions, cornerback, wide receiver, tight end. You could see guys stand out just by going up against guy. But, when you have Jalen Hurts or any quarterback going into these scrimmages, you can only take so much with a grain of salt because they're not playing at 100%. They're not tackling. They're not wrapping ankles. They're not trying to hit you as hard as possible. You're getting looks, but Jalen Hurts is going to end up throwing the ball every single time, even with pressure. Okay, so, we have to look at it that way too. This team made a lot of mistakes last year. This was a young squad last year. First time head coach and Nick Sirianni, new offensive coordinator, new quarterback coach, new quarterback, straight from the draft. A few games under his belt in 2020. But, had a quarterback that only played a few games. You had a new quarterback, a lot of pressure on him. Quez Watkins, you drafted Devontae Smith. There was a lot of new pieces. We had to imagine that we were excited last year and we were hyped up, but they were going to make a lot of mistakes. And when Nick Sirianni talked about fundamentals last year, this team was not fundamentally sound last year. 6 to 8 touchdowns were taken away from us from stupid penalties. This team wasn't fundamentally sound when it came to penalties. We shot ourselves in the foot plenty of games. Okay, we didn't run the ball for a lot of weeks until, we started getting it with the program. I think that Chargers game in the second half was the turnaround of our passing game. I think we started passing the ball a little bit well, but, we still made mistakes. We didn't have the right players on, the right players for Jonathan Gannon's scheme, and there's so much that goes into it. Rookie defensive coordinator. There were so many first-year defensive coordinator. There were so many new pieces to this room last year. And look what you got this offseason. Eagles did not get rid of any coaches, no positional coaches, nothing. I think after this year, they will start making changes. They want to give this thing another go with better talent on the roster on both sides of the football. Okay, so when I see these stupid rankings of quarterbacks, this is all what these analysts think. They're wrong about the draft. They're wrong about the rankings. Half the time, they're wrong about everything, okay? They're trying to mix things up. It's entertaining, and people like to watch. That's what it's all for, okay? Because I really don't give a crap what anybody else thinks, to be honest with you. I could care less what they think. Okay, I didn't even really go. I just saw things pop up and I clicked on an article and I seen the rankings and I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not surprised. Are some people surprised that Jalen Hurts is ranked lower than a lot of other bad quarterbacks that are in the league? Yeah, Jalen Hurts is getting knocked on right now because they don't think he's going to be able to do it. They think he's just a read option quarterback, and he has shown that he has that big plus in running with the football in his hands, but he has struggled with accuracy. He has struggled on missing wide open guys and fitting balls through tight windows. He has struggled with it. So, I think part of it is not just Jalen Hurts. I think part of it is offensive coordinator Shane Steichen and Nick Sirianni with the leash on him, because Nick, Shane Steichen's calling, every time we get into a game, Shane Steichen has 4 to 5 plays that are already ready that they're going to call out in a row. The plays are already there, okay, that he's going to call out for the series if it goes well. And Nick has to make the adjustments or make changes if it's not working out. So not only is there pressure on Shane Steichen, there is a lot of pressure on Nick Sirianni as well. I'm just being realistic, guys, because there is nothing more that I want for Jalen Hurts to work out. I think when you had a guy in Carson Wentz, he had the playability, but the problem was, obviously he was injury prone, and not even just that, but, and his attitude and all that other crap I'm not going to get into, but he didn't have the mentality. And I love Jalen Hurts' mentality. His mentality will win you football games, but teams are going to literally pressure him. Teams are going to literally pressure Jalen Hurts into winning games with his arm. That's what's going to happen every single game, because now there is a blueprint on Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts played the whole year last year, besides obviously the Jets game, but now there's a blueprint on him now. Now teams know how to defend him. And I think how they're going to defend him is they're either going to have a spy or they're going to blitz almost every damn time. And obviously now you have A.J. Brown. You added more to your offensive line. I think you have the best offensive line in football with the depth behind it. You have a good running back core. I think Miles Sanders is ready for a breakout year this year because he was on a contract. He's on a contract year. And, he got hurt a couple times, and some fans are kind of labeling him as injury prone right now. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to go through this offseason as clear as possible, clear-minded, and not be negative about it. But I will say things that, might piss people off, but you just have to respect it. Just got to respect it, because we all have different opinions about this quarterback. As much as there's a lot of people that don't want him to play at all. A lot of people think Minshew should just start. I totally understand that. But you invested a second-round pick in this kid, and you want to see what he could do. This kid was not supposed to be the starting quarterback of this team. This guy was meant to be drafted in the second round as a backup for 4 years. Okay, at the time it was crazy, but it could be a blessing in disguise. By the end of this season, we'll figure it out. If Jalen Hurts works out, man, what you could do with 2 first-round picks with a quarterback that played well. Just say the Eagles win 13 games. They get into the playoffs. They win 1 game. They lose in the second. Just imagine they do that, okay? Even though it will be upsetting, but at the same time, this rebuild just turned into contender in 2 years. I mean, the Bengals did it in 2 years. But, obviously Burrow is a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts, in my opinion. I'm going to be fair. As of right now, Burrow is better. And, Burrow was already in a Super Bowl. Didn't win, but, he's a passing quarterback. He's not, I'm not saying that you can't win with a read option guy. I'm not saying anything like that. But, this is it. Like, this is all you're going to get. Like, I could care about statistics, and when it comes to the rankings and all that stupid crap everybody talks about, and people talk about it to get entertainment out of it, and I think it's stupid. Like, I've just never been a stats guy. I'm just like, throw him on the field and he'll prove us wrong. That's it. You know what I mean? If he screws up, I'm going to say that he screws up. If he plays well, I'm going to say he plays well. If he had an okay game but he could have played better, I'm going to say that too. You know what I mean? So a win is a win at the end of the day. Depending on what happens, say if this defense totally just carries us this year, just say that does happen. Good for Jonathan Gannon and good for our defense. But, there has been quarterbacks out there, Peyton Manning's, last Super Bowl, I think, that defense for Denver, he didn't really play well that whole year. Even Tom Brady in 2018, now offensively, I don't think he played really well in that 2018 Super Bowl when they were facing the Rams, and the defense, played well that year. So it just depends how Jalen Hurts does. And look, I mean, yeah, the guy should throw over 4,000 yards for what he has, definitely. But do I think he's going to do it? Probably not. If he had 3,800 yards, something like that, I understand if you throw for 3,600 yards, he's only throwing 200 yards a game. So I definitely understand that. And like I said last year, when Jalen Hurts' stats looked better than they normally did, it was because teams were playing a lot of prevent. He had a lot of under three, he had a lot of throws that were under, and he completed a lot of those short passes. There was games where he didn't even have 100 yards, 100 yards passing. You know what I mean? But you got to take the running into account as well, because I obviously think he's going to have 100. I think he's going to have 10 rushing touchdowns this year. But I don't want them to. And the one thing I'm going to be looking for this year is not to overcomplicate it and not to use his read options so much to the point where they're making it so obvious. Defenses make us one-dimensional and we can't do anything else. Because if he can't get this done with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, and Quez Watkins, I don't know what you have to do for this kid. You've done as much as you possibly could for this kid after this year. You know, it's just the truth. So it's just a wait-and-see approach. I'm excited for OTAs. I'm excited for training camp, but I'm going to have an open mind, and I'm not going to get too hyped about certain things because, you know, I'm excited for Eagles football. Don't get me wrong. I'm excited, but I'm going to be realistic on, you know, what I have to see. And if I don't like what I see, I'm going to say I don't like it. And people might disagree with it. It is what it is. I got killed in 2020 when the first game against Washington, Carson Wentz against Washington, we were up 17-0. We totally just blew the game. Okay, I made a video saying something's wrong with Carson Wentz. Something is really wrong because mentally there's just something there. He just doesn't look right on the field. Okay. And people, this was 2020, and people totally just attacked me for it. And I was fine with it. I didn't care. It is what it is. My opinion at the end of the day. But when I see something, I see it, and I'm going to say it. Okay? I could be right. I could be wrong. And hopefully he proves me wrong, okay, if I say anything bad about him. And that's and when I criticize a player, it's not because I criticize him because I hate him or I want him off the team. I criticize players so they play better. I criticize them. I don't go on social media and criticize them, but I criticize, well, technically this is social media when I make a video, but I criticize them because I want them to play better, and I know that they could play better, okay? But when I think that this is all you have with a quarterback with a limited skill set, it could happen. Can Jalen Hurts take us to the top? I don't know. Could he do more than be an RPO read option quarterback? He has got to be in the pocket. He has got to be more patient, and he has got to get these throws in. He's got the receivers now. There's no excuses. There's no nothing. And if you're going to blame Hurts, you're going to blame the coaching staff. So, because I see a lot of people going to this season, they're going to blame the coaching staff or blame Steichen or blame, you know, and look, some of it might be because I didn't like how they used Rager. I think they used Rager too much. Obviously, he played horrible. Why did he start every single game? And the other team would have benched him. Devontae Smith would treat like a number 3 than a number 1. You don't give him the ball in a playoff game. Your number 1 receiver doesn't get the ball in a playoff game till the third quarter. I mean, come on now. Come on now. Miles Sanders was almost out for 3 weeks. Miles Sanders was almost out for 3 weeks, and you didn't do nothing with Boston Scott and Jordan Howard until the third quarter. I mean, literally. I mean, that's how bad the game plan was for that playoff game. I'm just saying that. I mean, you lost that game in literally 10 minutes. It was over. Okay, so that's pretty much my whole rant, guys. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, bash anybody or nothing. When it comes to these stupid statistics with these quarterbacks, it's just BS. Down the line. Dumb. I don't care about them. I care about what I see, and that's all I care about. If I think he is the guy, he's the guy. If I don't think he's going to be, and look, how many weeks is it going to show? How many weeks is it going to take? I don't know. 10 weeks? When is he going to be the guy? When we face better talent, when we win, you know, better games against better talent, that's what I'm going to know. I think Detroit's a nice starter game for us. And I think having a home opener against Minnesota Monday night gets a lot of eyes on the Eagles, and it's our first playoff game, and we have 4 more after that. You know what I mean? I think the league wants to see what the Eagles can do. I think they want to challenge Hurts on what he could do. And obviously with this head coach as well. So, other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I know I ranted. It's a long video. I hope you guys made it. And if you did make it through this whole video, I do appreciate it so much. Love you all. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think and about the statistics and obviously just the, you know, just the rankings in general. And do you think, like, do you care about it? Do you not care about it? Are you going in the season with a clear mind, or do you think Jalen Hurts is just not going to make it? And you think, like, these picks next year are going to be wasted on another quarterback, and, you know, we're going to be starting all over again. So, you guys let me know. And I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, fellas. Peace out, guys. Peace.